Hi, here we are back at it again. So we're going to now work on our home screen. So again, we're going to click on that top section, Option, Shift, and drag. Before I get too far, I'm just going to call this home. I'm going to do two variations of your home screen. So I'll just call this home one. We're kind of starting fresh. I'm just going to go ahead and delete all of that. And now let's start building. So again, let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's I really like getting specific with my numbers. So let's use what we got. So let's say I want to have a nice big image there. Forgot, I want to make sure, or not to forget, I want to make sure I've got a nice big logo on there, just so they do not forget where they are at. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this little section or this little button here. I'm going to pull that sign up with it. And this is going to be my order now. Because this is obviously the main intention of our website, the main intention, or sorry, of our app, I'm going to make this sucker quite large. I'm going to make that maybe a semi-bold. I'm going to grab those corners right in. I'm going to click and drag. And I'm going to center it all in there. Perhaps maybe I'm going to make that, let's check out our size. I think it's going to be too big. I'm pretty happy with that. So now our first one, we're going to create a sticky menu. So sticky menu hinged at the bottom, doesn't move, hence the term sticky, and it stays there forever and ever, just like in Instagram and all those fancy apps we already use, skip the dishes, etc. So I start by creating a rectangle. Again, this is representative of, in our wireframes, boxes and circles and shapes are all representative of our elements. So this could be a color, this could just be representing as a section. It doesn't necessarily need to be a deep color. Maybe it's just a line. It's just showing the placement of things. So this is essentially the home for our icons. So because we grabbed one of these fancy profile guys, I'm going to go ahead and copy it and I'm going to paste that here. It kind of disappears on there. So I'm going to go ahead and make that a blue color. I'm actually going to go ahead and add. Oh, I was going to say, I thought I had white. Add that, make that white. Going in, like kind of determining the size of this. 37 pixels, I think that's pretty good. Maybe a little bit large. So now I think about my other pages. So if I open up my sitemap, which I don't have accessible right now, but we do know that we have a home. We do know that we have an ordering section. We do know that we have a profile section. Again, that profile section does not need to be built, but it does need to appear in the nav. And we have a checkout. So I went ahead in Illustrator and I created these icons. I do have this icon here just to show you how immediately when I was creating these icons, I had this and I almost just jumped ahead and used it. But this is very inconsistent with the others. So we make sure we stay consistent in all of our graphics, look as though they belong to a family. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to copy, go into XD, and I'm just going to paste them in there. Command-Shift-G to ungroup. And here's all our little babies. So again, remembering we looked here, we've got our size 33. So let's make sure we lock that up and make sure we size appropriately. So having a bit of an issue with this earlier, so I'm just going to go and size them down for the most part. And now let's get them placed in here. Again, opening and using that grid always and determining what should be last. I always think a shopping cart should be last. Intuitively, I always imagine it last. Home, generally always first, and then profile somewhere in the middle. So let's go ahead and make these all white. And then let's go ahead and center, and let's evenly distribute those little suckers. So now we're in pretty darn good shape for our home page. We have our logo, we have our order now, and we have our nav. What I do want to touch upon is this. If all of our icons are all in white, it's a little bit distracting or a little bit tough for our users to figure out where we are, granted, or where we are in our app. It is a small app, it's pretty self-explanatory, but we never want to assume people will know. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to screen those back. So we're on our home, so we want that to be highlighted in white. And I'm just going to go ahead and screen that back to about 50%. And we'll call this homepage version 1